So a lot of founders and brands have been getting into clipping. Now, what is the core reason of that? The main reason is that they know that getting attention first will improve the performance on their paid ads. Now, how is that so? They're putting millions of dollars on the paid ads, but from those paid ads, all they get is cold leads. Now, what are cold leads? Cold leads are basically people who don't know you and you don't know those people. You're completely outreaching them without knowing them, and you're just shooting your shot to sell your product or your service. Now, what is warm lead? Warm lead means someone who already knows you, they already know about your expertise, they already know about your brand, they have the awareness. That's a warm lead. But how do you make sure that most of the people watching your paid ad can be a warm lead? Because that improves your conversion rate. What if you run clipping pages on your brand? What if you clip out the content that you have around your brand? If you have a product, you can clip out the product reviews. If you have a founder, you can clip out his podcasts, or many more things. There are many more type of contents that you can clip out of your content. If we can post thousands of videos every single day for your brand, imagine the level of awareness it can bring. Then if you run the paid ads, you will have thousands and millions of people who will become a warm lead. That will improve your conversion rate, and it's simple as that. You get millions of views, you have attention. That's why getting attention towards your product or your brand is one of the most important things. People say that they can just run the paid ads and they can get the conversion. Of course, you will get the conversion. Let's say the conversion rate is 3% or so. But if you post the organic content, have a lot of warm leads, they already know about your product, they already know about your brand, boom, now the conversion rate increases. Suddenly it went from 3% to 15% or even higher. That's the change that it brings. If you focus on the organic content, that's the change it will bring. But there is this one mistake these brands and these founders do. Now the hype has came up, a lot of clipping agencies are opening, these people have no idea about what they are doing. They have like 10k MRR or so, they have like 10k revenue, and they have 1 to 2 clients, they have no systems, they just have 2 people who manage the whole thing. If you give them 100 pages, suddenly their whole system shut down. Then you give them 100 pages to manage. As a brand, you need something on a very large scale, otherwise it's not worth it for you. And suddenly their whole business shuts down because they don't have systems that can handle 100 pages. These people are just in this whole clipping agency thing by looking at someone online who is making a little bit of money. They think that they can do the same very easily and they can just get a few clients, get a few views, and they can just impress the clients, and boom, they make money. They're sure to chase that money. They don't really care about the whole industry. They don't really care about creating a whole vertical for companies. They don't really care about creating a whole marketing vertical for these companies. They have no idea about what's going on over here. They haven't clipped before. They don't know anything about clipping. They might have clipped a little bit. They might have a page with 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers, but do they have videos with 5 million views, 10 million views, even 30 million views? Do they have multiple of those videos? No, they don't have the experience. They don't have the solutions for every single problem out there. They are far behind. They're still going through that CPM campaign phase. They haven't figured out the CPM based campaigns problems. The CPM based campaign doesn't really work in the long run. You will only get to know that when your CPM campaign blasts off, when you get hundreds and millions of views on a very small budget. That's only when you will understand the problem behind that system. And if you still think that that's the best system out there, then I think you don't have a campaign with hundreds and millions of views on a small budget in CPM based campaign. You're yet to achieve that. Once you achieve that, you will understand the problems that you can face with that particular type of system. So the brands and the founders or the AI companies need to make sure that they're giving that project to a company that has been doing this for a very long time. Even before the agency, if they have been doing it for years and years, because this whole clipping agency thing is very new. Make sure to have a really strong background check on their experience. If they don't have any strong case studies, if they don't have full systems or teams managing the whole thing, then they cannot manage 100 or 200 pages. It just doesn't make any sense. Make sure you choose the right agency, and agencies and all of the clipping agencies look at me and tell me, can you really handle 10 campaigns at one time? Let's say tomorrow morning we have 10 campaigns. Can you really handle? You cannot. You don't have the systems. You have to work on those. Brands, make sure you choose the right agencies. That's it.